this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm here with you again this morning. It's really dark out because it's what time is it? It is about 5:45 in the morning. So it's early in the morning. I hope you're up. I have my cup of coffee, which is going to keep me awake. And hopefully we can talk just about a little bit about what's happening in the economic world of you and I. We both know that our wages are not keeping up with inflation. We're not having enough wages because inflation is eating into our fuel bills. Winter's coming along, and our energy costs are going to go up again. And we have a problem with trying to survive. I was reading an article this morning. That's why I have my glasses on this morning. And they were talking about how individuals, Americans, are unable to qualify for loans. Why? Because their debt to income is higher. Okay, so they have more debt going out than income coming in. So here's some statements I'm going to read to you right now. And this comes from CNBC this morning. Mortgage payments have become significantly less affordable for home buyers, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Nearly a quarter of refinance applications were rejected in 2022, up from about 14.2% in 2021. Ted Jenkins, CEO of Oxygen Financial, recommended that consumers focus on their debt-to-income ratio, which means what he's saying there is, hey, start focusing on your debt, get it down so that your income outweighs the debt that you have. And I just read this morning where students have a high amount of debt from credit cards. They are out of control on their credit card spending. They've reached their max. So has Americans. All of Americans across this nation have the same problem. Let me read just a little bit more on this. As high home prices and interest rates push up monthly mortgage payments, it's harder for many consumers to even get a mortgage in the first place. Last year, lenders denied loans applications due to insufficient income. 2 words, insufficient income. The debt is higher than the income being brought in to pay off that debt. More often than any other point since records began in 2018. According to a new report from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, overall 9.1% of home purchase applications among all applicants were denied in 2022. The Consumer Watchdog Agency reported higher than 8.3% in 2021, but a marginal decrease from 9.3% in 2020. Refinance applications were more frequently rejected at a rate of 24.7% in 2022, up sharply from 14.2% in 2021. Insufficient income represented more than 50% of denials for Asian American applicants, 45% for Black and Hispanic applicants, and approximately 40% for white applicants, up from below 40% for each of these groups in 2028. So what it's telling you is that our debt as personal individuals is greater than the income that is flowing in. Cash flow sucks. Now, let's compare that to the U.S. government. They have the same problem. Their IRS revenues have come down. Their debt has gone up. So they are in an upside down position like you and I, where the debt to income ratio is failing. Okay, so we have more debt in the United States government than we have income coming in. Now that can be solved, and it comes down to responsible individuals in our lives, in our own personal lives, where we have to focus on reducing our debt and focus on maybe even increasing our revenue. We've got too much debt. The US government has too much debt, but Congress sits there, Democrats sit there wanting to spend more and more money. The president wants to forgive. He just forgave another $9 billion of student debt. This keeps going on and on and on. The interest that we're paying on the United States debt is over $800 billion. And it grows every single day. We're adding more and more debt. So what McCarthy did in his last bill that was supposed to reduce debt, didn't reduce debt. It increased it by $2 trillion. Can you imagine being that stupid to agree to something? And listen, Democrats and Republicans, they all voted for that bill, and they thought it was the cat's meow. Well, listen, the cat's tail got stomped on, and now we're in trouble. $2 more trillion in debt, and another trillion coming maybe this next month. It is going up every single month. So here we have individuals in Congress and in the United States Senate who are not thinking with their noggin. They're thinking politically. What more can I look like I'm giving to the American people, and all they end up giving is more debt? How stupid can we be to believe these politicians anymore? If they want to reduce the debt of the United States, they have got to reduce their spending significantly. Not just 8%. No, that doesn't cut it. You have got to cut the spending of the United States government. Look at what happened in the last 2 days. The military has come to Congress and they've said, all of our assets, all of our military assets have been depleted by sending it to Ukraine. How stupid. So now they're admitting, yeah, we don't have enough assets. So what would happen if a country bombed us or came and we became under attack by another country? We don't have anything to protect ourselves. How in the world did Congress allow that to happen? How did the president allow that to happen? How did the president draw so much oil from our oil reserves that we only have 14 days left in case of an emergency? Janet Yellen came out yesterday. Oh, I'm very confident about the economy. Every single time she says that, something else drops. Another black swan appears. She is the black swan lady of Washington, D.C. If we don't get this under control, this whole nation is going to go into a bankruptcy that you've never seen before. The American people have had it. We're fed up with it, and we want some results. And that means we know that you don't have a Speaker of the House at the moment, but you'd better get one really fast. In the next 2 days, you had better have a Speaker of the House. Because if you're going to waste our time as Americans and not know what's going to come down the line, you have only a few more days and you've got to come up with a new spending budget. And you're not even working on it. You're not even doing anything. The Speaker pro tem sent everybody home for a week. How stupid can you be? We need people that are going to go into Washington, D.C. They're going to roll up their sleeves. They're going to bring in the accountants, and they're going to say, okay, what can we do to reduce the cost of the United States? We have a burden, a debt burden. And it doesn't call for raising more taxes. It means that you have got to cut your spending. Look at us. We can't even get approved for loans anymore because our debt is higher than our income. Your downgrades of the credit bureaus are due to your debt is higher than your income. Your debt is out of control in the United States government. So don't sit around, both Democrats and everything else, pointing fingers at each other. Point the finger back at yourself and what you have done to try to resolve this. If you haven't even tried, look at Hakeem Jeffries. Comes out every single day and points the finger at Republicans. But he has brought nothing to the table. If you really care about this country, bring something to the table. Send me something and let me look at it. I'll mediate it. If you want me to mediate it, I'll be more than happy to. I'm an accountant. I know numbers. But I see no numbers being generated except these pointing of fingers. These are not numbers, people. Nor is it an offer. Take your hand, put it on your computer, and start typing out something that you think will work for the United States government. We have to do it in our own lives. We know that we've got debt, so now we have to focus on that, which means our spending is going to go down because we've got to pay down our debt. We can no longer go out and buy that new television, go out and buy that new car. We can't do anything at the moment except focus on our debt and reduce it. Government is in the same situation. If you don't sit down and take responsibility over the debt that you have, over the spending, over the overspending, those are the key words. If you don't take control of that and reduce it, you are going to push the government into such a big time financial crisis. How will America survive? I asked that of myself, how will I survive? How will the nation survive? My next door neighbor, how is she going to survive? The neighbor down the street, how is that family going to survive? They're barely surviving at the moment. And then we see at the moment we have an issue with Taiwan. And we have an issue with, right now, the country of the Philippines are sending their boats out there challenging what the Chinese are doing. We can't do it because we have nothing to go with. We probably don't even have enough fuel to put in those boats anymore. Don't have enough ammunition to shoot at anything. Have to throw rocks. Maybe that's why we see gravel being loaded on the boats. I don't know. But we are stupid. If we don't get this under control, we are going to be in hell. In fact, we're right on the border of hell, right at the very steps of hell, because we've got politicians on the Democratic side, in the presidential office, in the military, and in Congress who absolutely know nothing about what they're doing. And we've got a Treasury Secretary who comes out and says, oh, the economy is just wonderful. It's not. That's a lie. It's a lie that the American government is telling you the economy is not good, and you and I know it. And you members of Congress had better start getting your act together. Get it together, because you are out of control. We Americans, we have to sit down with our budgets, and we're planning for 2024 at the moment, of what we can and cannot do. For Christmas, we're probably not going to spend very much. Don't expect Christmas to be a big booming year. If it is, they're doing it by debt, which means that they're ramping up their debt, credit card debt, more and more. Americans, stop spending on your credit card debt. Why are you spending 20% on interest on credit card debt just because your little girl or little boy or you yourself want to go out and buy that something, and now you're paying 20% interest on what you wanted? Now you change your attitude. You buy what you need, not what you want. Buy what you need, not what you want. United States government, buy what keeps the country running, not what you want. Which means cutting out all those stupid grants, cutting out all that money that's going to foreign countries where they don't even like us, forgiving debt, everything. All of this has got to stop. And you've got to get your hands dirty and dig in and figure out what you can do. Bring in the accountants, bring in the mediators, whatever you have to do, but bring in financial solvent people who know what they're looking at. Come on, let's be real about this. And Congress, you've got to take some responsibility. What McCarthy did to you in this last bill on spending was a lie. It was a falsehood. It put the nation into greater harm, and the debt rose $2 trillion and is rising every single day because you played the games of the Democrats on spend, and our debt goes up. This spending thing has got to be frozen. It has got to be frozen. Give them a certain level of what they can spend, and that's it. For the next 2 years, spending freeze. Put a spending freeze. Put a hiring freeze. In fact, let some of your staffs go because you have too much overhead. You have too much headcount that is creating too much overhead. It's what I'm trying to say. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. If you want to sit down and talk with me about your business or your personal finances, you can contact me through one of these things right here. See this right here where my finger is? Right there. Contact me through there. Everybody go out and have a great day. God bless. Congress, get your act together because you are stupid at the moment. Get your Speaker of the House in line. You need a conservative. You need a leader. You cannot have individuals like McCarthy. McCarthy should never have been the Speaker of the House. Scalise, no. No, Scalise, no. You've got to find someone who can lead, someone who is respected, someone who can get things done, who can drive the Congress to focus on the debt and focus on spending and focus on the border. You know that every individual that's coming across that border is costing us billions of dollars. Look at New York. New York's in trouble. Chicago's in trouble. California's in trouble. Everybody where they're sending those illegal aliens to is costing them billions and billions of dollars. And why in the world is New York providing them with housing? Stop that. What was in your head when you did that? You're creating more debt. You're creating more financial chaos in your city. I have no respect for New York City anymore. You guys have lost it. Start sitting down with some common sense and say, okay, we can no longer afford this. We can no longer push this. We can no longer support these illegal aliens. They have to go home, which means that they have to be rounded up and sent back home because they're costing American people billions and billions of dollars per day. I was going to stop a few minutes ago, but I got pissed off again. I'm so pissed off every single day that I look at what people are saying out of Washington, D.C. It just makes me more pissed off and more upset and more angry at the United States government. At some point in time, let me tell you guys in government, at some point in time, the American people are going to take this country back, and you're not going to like it because changes are going to be made. Expect it to happen because the road that you're on at the moment is chaos, destruction, disaster. Americans don't want to go down that road. So get your act in order. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.